Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a pretty massive financial mystery today. Why do millions of hardworking folks put in totally grueling hours year after year, but never actually hit financial freedom? It's a super frustrating reality for so many of us.
It really begs the question, right? Is the system just rigged against us? Or are there these hidden habits, those quiet, everyday routines that are basically keeping people stuck? Well, once you spot these habits, I promise you, you're never going to look at your money the same way again. Today, we're exposing the biggest financial traps blocking your path to wealth.
All right, let's jump right into habit number 1, the paycheck trap. This is when you're spending absolutely everything you earn. So this is a classic case of what we call lifestyle inflation. Think about it. You work hard, boom, you get a raise. Step 1 is complete. But instead of banking that extra cash, step 2 kicks in and you just buy bigger expenses. Maybe you upgrade your apartment, start eating at those pricier restaurants, or, lease a flashy new car. And then, suddenly, you're right at step 3, waiting for payday all over again. Every single raise just funds a more expensive lifestyle. You aren't really building wealth. You've just built yourself higher bills. And man, the immediate danger of this cycle is pretty scary. When you're spending every dime you make, you literally have zero safety net. Without savings, a totally mundane everyday emergency, like, say, a flat tire, a quick trip to urgent care, or a random leaky pipe, mutates into a full-blown financial crisis. It injects this sudden panic right into your daily life just because there's absolutely no buffer between you and the unexpected. Okay, moving on to section 2, liabilities versus assets. Because what you buy really, really matters. Look, society is constantly pressuring us to buy things for that hit of immediate gratification. We're talking about liabilities here. Luxury cars, the absolute newest smartphones, designer brands. And yeah, they look fantastic. But they lose a massive chunk of their value the literal second you drive off the lot or walk out of the store. Wealthy people, though, they operate differently. They focus on acquiring assets. These are things that actually grow in value or physically put money back into your pocket over time. It's just a completely different mindset on where your hard-earned cash goes. Which brings us to habit number 3, the cost of fear. This is the invisible price of doing nothing. Now, it is completely natural to want to fiercely protect what you've earned. But here's the kicker. Keeping your cash totally idle, like stuffing it under a mattress or leaving it in a basic checking account, isn't actually safe at all. Inflation acts like this slow, invisible leak. It physically shrinks the purchasing power of your money over time. So the cash that buys a whole week of groceries today, it might only buy a couple days' worth in a decade. Doing nothing is actually costing you. But hey, overcoming this fear doesn't mean you have to blindly throw your life savings at super risky ventures. No way. It means making informed decisions. By just taking a bit of time to learn before you invest, you can truly understand risk and actually protect your wealth. Knowledge is literally the ultimate antidote to financial fear. It lets you stop hiding in cash and start making really confident, proactive choices. All right, section 4, no financial education. Basically, the missing subject in all our schools. Think about it. Our schools do a fantastic job teaching us that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, right? But personal finance, it's almost entirely MIA from the curriculum. So countless adults are thrust into the workforce totally blind. Imagine trying to navigate adulthood without knowing basic budgeting or how taxes actually work, or the pure magic of compound growth. These are the fundamental tools of financial survival, and, well, most of us were simply never handed the toolbox. But bridging this gap, it isn't about passing some multiple choice test. It's about your entire future. Acquiring this missing knowledge is the exact thing that drives smart, wealth-building behavior. True financial education shifts your whole perspective. You go from just trying to survive until the end of the month to masterfully planning out the next few decades of your life. And that leads us smoothly into habit number 5, thinking short-term. We really need to talk about the importance of playing the long game.
Listen, building real wealth demands some profound patience. It's a total progression. In the short term, like over a few months, your main focus is just consistent saving. Then, over the years, that naturally expands into disciplined, regular investing. And as we stretch into the decades, it's all about continuous learning and compounding. It's those small and, sometimes pretty boring good habits that, when repeated over and over, actually produce massive, life-changing wealth. Time and discipline absolutely pay off.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with an incredibly empowering realization. Most people do not stay poor because they lack intelligence. Let me actually say that again, because it's so important. It has absolutely nothing to do with not being smart enough. It is simply because they were never taught the specific daily habits that build wealth. But here is the undeniable good news. Habits can be changed. And changing your habits literally rewrites your financial future. So, looking back at the traps we've explored today, what is one financial habit you're going to change today? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this knowledge empowers you to take that very first step. You've got this.